Evening, sir. I'm Officer Daniels with Missouri Valley PD. Reason for the stop's your taillight out. Can I see your license and registration, please?
Sure thing.
Thank you. Go ahead and step out of the vehicle for me.
There are things you will not understand easily.
Vehicle for me.
There are things you will not understand easily.
September 23, 2023, 6:47 a.m. Security camera mounted on the corner of Elmwood Drive and Parker Street in Des Moines, Iowa, captures a woman in her early 40s walking alone. Amanda Sullivan, 42 years old, elementary school teacher at Riverside Elementary, has walked this exact route every single morning for 11 years. 0.8 miles from her apartment to the bus stop on Washington Avenue. Same sidewalk, same time, 6:45 a.m. without fail. What she doesn't know as she passes beneath that second-floor window is that for the last 22 days, someone has been timing her footsteps. In the next few minutes of this video, you're going to see footage that law enforcement held back for 8 months. You're going to learn what investigators found in apartment 2B, and the question isn't what happened to Amanda Sullivan, but why he let her walk past his window 21 times before he decided she was ready. This is the story of how an 11-year routine became a death sentence, and when you see what was written on page 73 of his notebook, you'll understand why Amanda's children still don't know the full story of what happened to their mother. Here's what everyone thought happened. New tenant moves into the building, sees attractive woman walking by every morning, develops obsession, follows her one day, crime of opportunity. Random, tragic, but explainable. Police even said it in the initial press conference. Wrong place, wrong time. That's what made sense. That's what the neighborhood wanted to believe, because if it was random, then it couldn't be prevented. And if it couldn't be prevented, then you didn't have to change anything about your own routine. Wait, that's not what happened. Not even close. Because Travis Brennan didn't just move into any apartment in Des Moines, he specifically requested apartment 2B. He viewed it on August 28th, signed the lease on August 29th, moved in on September 1st. The landlord said he was the perfect tenant, paid 3 months up front in cash, no questions, no complaints. But apartment 2B had one specific feature that made it perfect. The living room window faced directly onto Elmwood Drive. From that window, you could see exactly 340 feet of sidewalk. Amanda walked that 340 feet every single morning. Remember that number, 340 feet. In 3 minutes, you'll understand why that distance mattered more than anything else. Who was Amanda Sullivan? Mother of 2. Kyle, 9 years old, and Sophie, 6 years old. Every morning she woke up at 5:30 a.m., made breakfast, packed 2 lunch boxes, walked her kids to her mother's house 4 blocks away because school didn't start until 8:15 and her shift at Riverside Elementary started at 7:30. She had been doing this exact routine since September 2012. 11 years of the same route, same time, same everything. Her coworkers said she was reliable, never called in sick, never complained, always showed up. Her students loved her. 3rd grade classroom, room 108. She had a keychain, bright yellow with a small sun charm that her daughter Sophie had given her for her birthday. She kept it attached to her work bag, the brown leather messenger bag she carried every single day. Hold on to that detail. The yellow keychain. You'll see why it matters. Travis Brennan, 38 years old, unemployed. But that doesn't explain how he paid 3 months' rent up front. Doesn't explain the 2013 Toyota Camry registered in his name, paid in full. Travis had worked as a data analyst until March 2023, made decent money, saved most of it. No family in Iowa. No friends that investigators could find. His former employer said he was quiet, competent. His contract just wasn't renewed, and he didn't apply anywhere else. And on August 7th, 2023, he found what he was looking for. Elmwood Drive, Des Moines. Building with vacant apartment. Elementary school teacher. Consistent routine. Perfect sightline. In apartment 2B, on the small desk near the window, investigators found a notebook. Black composition notebook. 73 pages, every single page filled with handwriting. Page 1. Amanda's full name, her age, her employer. Page 2, her address. Page 3, her children's names, their ages, their school. Page 4, her mother's address. Page 5 through 11, time logs. September 1st, 6:44 a.m. September 2nd, 6:46 a.m. September 3rd, 6:45 a.m. Every single day, the exact time she walked past his window. Page 12, a hand-drawn map of her route with distances marked. Page 23, notes about her bag. Brown leather messenger bag, yellow keychain visible on left strap. Page 28, observations. Looks at phone while walking, doesn't look up, walks fast, never stops. Page 31, sketches of the street layout, building positions, camera angles, blind spots marked in red. Page 58, a single sentence. She never varies. Page 61, another sentence. Completely predictable. Page 67, another. Ready soon. Page 73, one word. October. Keep that word in your mind. October. Because it's September 23rd when everything changes and October is 8 days away. September 23rd, 2023. Let me break down exactly what the security footage shows because every single frame matters. The camera is mounted 22 feet above street level on the corner of Elmwood and Parker, covering the intersection. This footage exists because a local business owner installed it after a break-in 2 years ago. This single piece of footage becomes the foundation of everything because investigators later verify this pattern. The business owner keeps 30 days of rolling footage. Detectives subpoena all of it. Every single morning from September 1st to September 22nd, the exact same thing happens. Light turns on within seconds of Amanda entering frame. Silhouette appears at window, watches her walk past. Silhouette disappears, light turns off. 22 days, 22 mornings. But September 23rd is different. The silhouette stays at the window for 9 seconds after she's gone. The light stays on for another 16 seconds after the silhouette moves away. Something changed that morning, and Amanda Sullivan never made it to the bus stop. She was reported missing at 11:47 a.m. when the school called her emergency contact. Police immediately start searching. By 2 p.m., they're canvassing the apartment building at 1847 Elmwood Drive, talking to neighbors. That's when residents start mentioning the new tenant in apartment 2B. 3 different people tell police the same story. Mrs. Helen Park, 67 years old, lives in apartment 3A directly above Travis. Says she's seen him at that window dozens of times, always between 6:40 and 7 a.m., always just standing there watching the street. Michael Chen, 34 years old, apartment 1C, says the guy from 2B is extremely quiet, avoids eye contact, seems nervous whenever anyone is in the hallway. Jerry Matthews, 52 years old, maintenance worker, tells police that the tenant specifically requested apartment 2B, turned down 2 other available units that were larger and cheaper, insisted on 2B, paid 3 months up front in cash. Police knock on apartment 2B at 3:14 p.m. No answer. They speak with the landlord, explain the situation. Landlord confirms the tenant is Travis Brennan, moved in September 1st. Very quiet. Police explain they're investigating a missing person who walks past this apartment every morning, and multiple residents have mentioned the tenant stands at his window at that exact time every day. Landlord agrees to let police do a wellness check. They enter apartment 2B at 3:47 p.m. Travis isn't there, but what they find turns this from a missing person case into something far worse. The notebook is on the desk by the window, right there in plain view. 73 pages of surveillance documentation. They find the laptop with photo files, hundreds of photos taken from that window showing Amanda walking past on different days, all time-stamped. They find printouts of maps with routes marked, notes about camera blind spots. This is obsessive surveillance. Police immediately secure the lift to apartment as a crime scene and make a crucial tactical decision. They plant audio surveillance devices in the apartment. 2 listening devices, 1 near the desk, 1 in the bedroom. This is legal under exigent circumstances. There's a missing person. They have probable cause to believe the occupant has information or involvement, and he might return and say something incriminating. The devices are active by 7:30 p.m. on September 23rd. Police issue a bolo for Travis Brennan and his vehicle, silver 2013 Toyota Camry. They set up surveillance outside the building, unmarked cars, waiting to see if he comes back. But he doesn't. September 24th, September 25th, September 26th pass. The audio devices pick up nothing because Travis never returns. Amanda's family is on the news pleading for information. Her children don't understand where mommy is. Then, on September 27th, 11:42 a.m., Des Moines Police Department receives a call. Anonymous, male voice, payphone at a truck stop on Interstate 80. The caller says 7 words. Check the grain facility on Route 69. Call disconnects. Police send officers to check. The old grain processing facility on Route 69 is massive, 3 stories, abandoned since 2018. Officers do a preliminary walkthrough that afternoon, checking obvious areas. They don't find anything immediately suspicious, and they don't have enough probable cause to do a comprehensive search based solely on an anonymous tip. But investigators keep that recording of the anonymous call. Standard procedure. September 28th, 2:17 p.m. A maintenance worker doing a pre-demolition inspection at the same grain facility calls 911. He found a car inside the loading bay, silver Toyota Camry. License plate matches Travis Brennan's vehicle. Police arrive at 2:34 p.m. and search everything. They find the Toyota, doors unlocked, keys in ignition, interior recently cleaned, strong smell of disinfectant. In the trunk, wrapped in plastic sheeting, Amanda Sullivan's brown leather messenger bag. The yellow keychain is still attached. Her wallet, phone, ID, everything inside. But Amanda isn't there. Police spend 6 hours searching the entire facility. At 8:51 p.m., in a second-floor maintenance room at the far back of the building, they find her. Amanda Sullivan is on the concrete floor in the corner of the room. She's fully clothed, wearing the same blue jacket and black pants from the security footage, but she's not alive. Medical examiner arrives. Preliminary assessment indicates she's been dead for approximately 4 to 5 days. Cause of death appears to be asphyxiation. Ligature marks on neck. No defensive wounds. No signs of sexual assault. Time of death estimated between September 23rd and September 24th. She died within hours of being taken, and next to her body, positioned carefully where she would have seen it, is the yellow keychain. Now, police have Amanda's body, Travis's vehicle at the scene, the notebook from his apartment proving obsessive surveillance. But they don't have Travis. And this is where investigators start putting pieces together. They have the security footage showing the silhouette watching Amanda. They have the notebook proving 22 days of documented surveillance. They have the vehicle and Amanda's belongings at the location where her body was found. And they have that anonymous call from September 27th directing police to the grain facility. Detectives pull that recording and start analyzing it. They need to know who made that call, because whoever made it knew where Amanda's body was. Investigators had been collecting any audio samples they could find of Travis's voice. They talked to the landlord, neighbors. Jerry Matthews, the maintenance worker, remembers when Travis first moved in, Jerry said hello and mentioned maintenance services. Travis responded, "Thanks, I appreciate that." Very calm voice, very even, no emotion. Investigators also check if Travis had made any utility calls. They find one hit. On September 15th, Travis called the building's internet service provider to set up his account. That call was recorded for quality assurance. It's only 90 seconds long, Travis giving his name, address, account information. But it's his voice, clearly speaking full sentences. Police subpoena that recording. Forensic audio specialists take the internet service call and compare it to the anonymous tip call from September 27th. The anonymous call is only 7 words. Check the grain facility on Route 69. So it's a limited sample. But specialists run it through voice analysis software comparing pitch, cadence, speech patterns, vocal characteristics. Result comes back. 89% probability, same speaker. Not enough to be definitive in court on its own, but enough to tell investigators that Travis Brennan very likely made that call, directing police to where he left Amanda's body. Why would he do that? The question haunts investigators, but it also tells them something critical. Travis wants to be found. He's waiting. So, police keep the bolo active and wait for him to make a mistake. October 1st, 2023, 4:47 p.m. Iowa State Patrol trooper conducts a routine traffic stop on Highway 30 near Missouri Valley, Iowa, 103 miles northwest of Des Moines. Vehicle is a silver 2013 Toyota Camry. Driver failed to signal a lane change. Trooper approaches, body camera recording. He asks for license and registration. Driver hands over his ID. Travis Brennan. The name is on the statewide bolo for kidnapping and murder. Trooper's body camera captures the exact moment he processes this. He stays completely calm. "Mr. Brennan, I need you to step out of the vehicle, please." Travis complies without resistance. Trooper calls for backup, keeps Travis standing by the vehicle. Travis doesn't run, doesn't argue. Backup arrives within 4 minutes. Body camera footage shows Travis being handcuffed, completely cooperative. And as they're walking him to the patrol car, one officer says, "You know why you're being detained, beyond the traffic violation?" And Travis, his voice clear on the body camera audio, says one sentence: "There are things you won't understand easily." Not, "What are you talking about?" Not, "I didn't do anything." Just, "There are things you won't understand easily." Like he's already accepting he's caught, but setting up some kind of explanation. Travis is transported to Des Moines Police Department, arrives at 7:23 p.m. He's processed, booked, placed in holding. Public defender is assigned, meets with Travis at 8:45 p.m., advises him strongly not to say anything. Travis waives his right to remain silent. He tells his attorney he wants to talk to detectives. Attorney advises against it repeatedly. Travis insists. And on October 2nd, 2023, 9:14 a.m., interrogation begins. 2 detectives, 1 county prosecutor, Travis Brennan, and his public defender. Recording equipment is on. Detective starts with standard questions: full name, date of birth, address. Travis answers calmly, no emotion. Then, detective says, "Let's talk about Amanda Sullivan." Travis doesn't hesitate. "I watched her for 22 days from my apartment window. I documented her routine. On September 23rd, I followed her, and I took her." Detective asks where. Travis says, "To the grain facility on Route 69. You found her there. You found my car there." Detective asks what happened, and Travis starts talking like he's presenting a case study. He explains that he wanted to demonstrate that predictability creates vulnerability, that people who follow exact routines every day make themselves targets. He says Amanda was perfect because she never varied anything. Same route, same time, always looking at her phone, completely unaware. Detective stops him. "She was a person. She had children. You took their mother." Travis says, "I know. Kyle, 9 years old. Sophie, 6 years old. They go to Oakmont Elementary. I know everything about her family. That's the point. I knew all of this, and she didn't know I existed." Detective asks what happened at the grain facility. Travis says he used chloroform near the corner of Washington and Grove, in a gap between areas covered by security cameras. He'd mapped out where cameras were and weren't. He incapacitated Amanda, put her in his vehicle, drove her to the facility, carried her to the second-floor maintenance room, zip-tied her to a metal chair. Detective asks what happened next. Travis goes quiet for 14 seconds. Then he says, "She woke up after approximately 30 minutes. She was terrified. She started screaming, crying, saying her children's names over and over. Kyle, Sophie, Kyle, Sophie. I tried to explain to her why I did this, that I was proving a point about security vulnerabilities. But she wouldn't stop screaming. She kept begging me to let her go, and I realized she would never understand. She would just be traumatized and report me, and everything I'd planned would be meaningless. So, I made a decision. Detective asks, "What decision?" Travis says, "I removed the zip ties. I told her to stand up. When she did, I strangled her. Manual strangulation. It took about 2 minutes. When she stopped moving, I checked for a pulse. She was dead." The interrogation room is silent. Detective asks why he placed the keychain next to her body. Travis says, "Because I wanted her to have something from her daughter, the sun charm. I didn't want her to be completely alone there." Detective asks why he called police and told them where to find her. Travis says, "Because I didn't want her children to spend years not knowing what happened. That would be crueler." Detective asks if he feels remorse. Travis says, "I accomplished what I intended. I proved that predictable routines create exploitable patterns. Amanda's case demonstrates that perfectly." The interrogation continues for 7 hours. Travis provides every detail: where he bought the chloroform, where he disposed of the container, the latex gloves, where he burned them, the cleaning supplies for his car, where he bought them. Complete timeline. He took Amanda at 6:52 a.m. on September 23rd at the corner of Washington and Grove, drove to the grain facility, arrived 7:18 a.m., carried her to second floor, secured her to chair. She regained consciousness around 7:51 a.m. He attempted to explain his reasoning. She panicked, screamed. He decided to kill her at 8:29 a.m. She was dead by 8:34 a.m. He left the facility at 9:02 a.m., drove to a motel in Council Bluffs, 132 miles away, checked in under a false name, paid cash, stayed 3 days. On September 27th, he drove back toward Des Moines, stopped at the truck stop on Interstate 80, used the payphone to call police. Then he drove north through small towns until the traffic stop on October 1st. He confesses to everything. Every detail matches physical evidence. But here's what makes the case absolutely airtight beyond the confession: DNA evidence. Forensic analysts found epithelial cells, skin cells, on Amanda's jacket collar, transferred during physical contact when Travis strangled her. They compared them to DNA samples from Travis's apartment, his toothbrush and hairbrush. Perfect match. 99.9% probability the skin cells on Amanda's jacket came from Travis Brennan. The voice analysis comparing Travis to the anonymous tip call. The security footage showing the silhouette watching Amanda from apartment 2B. The notebook with 73 pages of surveillance documentation. The laptop with hundreds of photos. His vehicle at the crime scene with Amanda's bag in the trunk. His complete confession with details only the killer would know. But there's something else that makes this case even more disturbing. On page 71 of the notebook, there's a list. 4 names, 4 women, 4 ages, 4 locations in Iowa. Amanda Sullivan, 42, Des Moines, is at the bottom. The other 3 are women who work at elementary schools in other Iowa cities: Cedar Rapids, Davenport, Waterloo. Investigators contact all 3. All 3 confirm they noticed a silver Toyota Camry near their schools or neighborhoods between June and August 2023. Laura Mitchell, 38, teacher in Cedar Rapids, says the car was parked across from the school 3 days in a row in July. Same spot, same morning time. She reported it to her principal. Car didn't come back. Beth Harrison, 41, teacher in Davenport, says she saw what she believes was the same car following her from school to a Target parking lot in August. She took a different route home deliberately. It followed for 6 blocks, then turned away. She reported it to police. They increased patrols for 1 week. Nicole Gardner, 35, works in administration at Waterloo Elementary, says her principal mentioned multiple teachers had reported a suspicious silver sedan in the parking lot several times in August. No formal report was filed because the car stopped appearing. All 3 of these women were on Travis's list. All 3 had been observed. All 3 could have been Amanda. Prosecutors ask Travis why Amanda specifically. He says, "Logistics. The apartment in Des Moines became available at the right time. Apartment 2B had the window I needed. The sight line was perfect. The other locations didn't have the right setup when I was ready. It was about timing and opportunity." That answer should terrify everyone, because what it means is Amanda died because of when an apartment became vacant. She wasn't targeted because of who she was. She was targeted because she had a predictable routine, and Travis happened to find the perfect surveillance point at the right time. Trial began in March 2024. First-degree murder, kidnapping, false imprisonment. Defense argued diminished capacity, claimed mental health issues, claimed the murder wasn't premeditated because his original plan was supposedly just to scare her. Prosecutors destroyed that argument. They presented the 73-page notebook showing weeks of planning. They presented the security footage showing the silhouette watching Amanda morning after morning. They presented the voice analysis connecting Travis to the anonymous tip call. They presented the DNA evidence. They presented his detailed confession. They argued that premeditation doesn't require planning to kill specifically. It requires planning the crime that created the circumstances for the killing. And Travis absolutely planned the abduction for weeks. Jury deliberated for 9 hours. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing hearing in April 2024. Amanda's mother testified through tears. She said Sophie asks every night when Mommy is coming home, and she has to explain over and over that Mommy is never coming home. She said Kyle has nightmares 3 times a week and refuses to talk about his mother. She said Amanda dedicated her life to teaching children and was murdered by someone who saw her as nothing more than a data point in his sick experiment. Judge sentenced Travis Brennan to life in prison without possibility of parole. Travis showed no emotion, no remorse. Judge asked if he had anything to say. Travis said, "I proved my point. Predictable routines create vulnerability. Amanda's case demonstrates that conclusively." Amanda's family released one statement after sentencing. Amanda walked to work every morning because she didn't own a car and was saving every dollar for Kyle and Sophie's college funds. She was responsible. She was careful. She did everything right. She walked during daylight hours. She stayed on busy streets. She maintained a consistent schedule. And she died because someone decided her consistency made her an acceptable victim. Kyle and Sophie will grow up without their mother. They will have graduations she won't see. They will have weddings she won't attend. They will have children she will never meet. All of that was stolen because Amanda walked the same route for 11 years, and someone noticed. We don't have closure. We don't have peace. We just have the knowledge that our daughter died for no reason except being predictable. Here's what Riverside Elementary did after Amanda's death. They held a memorial service on October 15, 2023. They planted a tree in the school courtyard with a plaque reading, "In memory of Amanda Sullivan, beloved teacher, 1981 to 2023. They provided grief counselors for her students for 2 weeks, and then they moved on. No additional security cameras, no panic buttons for staff, no self-defense training, no policy changes. When a local journalist asked the school board why they hadn't implemented new safety measures, the response was, "This was an isolated tragedy that occurred off school property during the victim's personal commute. We have no reason to believe our staff is at elevated risk." Translation? We're not admitting there was a failure because that creates liability. So, teachers at Riverside Elementary continue parking in the same spots, walking the same routes, keeping the same schedules, every single day. According to FBI data from 2020 to 2023, there were 63 reported cases of elementary and middle school teachers being stalked or harassed by individuals who conducted surveillance on their routines. 63 reported cases where someone tracked a teacher's patterns. Amanda's case was the only one in Iowa that resulted in murder. but 63 cases nationwide where teachers were targeted specifically because of predictable behavior. And those are only reported cases. How many unreported cases exist? How many teachers right now are being watched and don't know it? If you work at a school, if you have any job with consistent public hours, if you walk the same route every day, listen carefully. Vary your routine. Leave at different times. Take different routes. Park in different spots. Make yourself unpredictable. This isn't paranoia. This is survival. Amanda thought her routine was safe because she'd done it for 11 years without incident. But safety isn't guaranteed by repetition. It's compromised by it. Every time you do the exact same thing the exact same way, you create a pattern someone can exploit. Amanda walked past apartment 2B 21 times, and Travis just watched and took notes. On the 22nd time, he stood at that window timing her. On the 23rd time, he followed her. And by 8:34 a.m. that same morning, she was dead. She told a coworker in mid-September that she felt like someone was watching her during her morning walks. The coworker said she was probably overthinking it. Amanda kept walking the same route. 8 days later, she was gone. If you're a teacher, share your safety protocols in the comments. If you've ever felt watched, share that experience. If you've changed your routine because something felt wrong, you made the right decision. Trust your instincts. When something feels off, it usually is. And when someone is watching you, you might not consciously see them, but some part of you knows. Listen to that part. Change your patterns, stay unpredictable, stay aware, stay alive. Because Amanda Sullivan can't teach anymore, can't hug her children anymore, can't walk anywhere anymore. And the only reason she's gone is because she walked the same 0.8 miles at the same time every morning for 11 years, and someone was counting.